All right, it is Wednesday, we were talking about October earlier. It's September 30th, 6:30 Wednesday. This Fans View Live. We got Carl, John, Lauren, Anthony, and myself. John, what do we got?
Well, we have who wore it best, number 31. Pelly Eklund was the winner. He beat out Wilbert Montgomery and Gary Maddox.
Pelly who?
Pelly Lindbergh.
That's better.
What did I say?
Definitely not what you said.
Pelly Eklund.
Pelly Eklund.
I think we need to start over.
Oh yeah.
Seriously.
The brain's not working well today.
Can we get a do-over? And we practiced all afternoon.
And we did.
John, who wore it best? What do you got? Let's start over again. Go.
We got Pelly Lindbergh was the winner for number 31.
Oh my God.
Too much. But yeah,
maybe you should tell the listeners you spent 3.5 hours on the phone with Verizon today.
Oh yeah.
And this is the reason. So
the head's just completely gone.
I got you.
I won't be talking much today.
I got you. Well, that could be a good thing, but I got you.
Sometimes it might be. Yep, Pelly Lindbergh. Well, all right. He beat out Wilbert Montgomery. This week we have a real good matchup here with all around for the most part. We got Steve Carlton for the Phillies, a member of the 1980 World Series champs, 10-time All-Star, 4-time Cy Young winner, Gold Glove winner, retired number for the Phillies, Wall of Famer for the Phillies, and a Hall of Famer in baseball. For the Eagles, we have that Ricky Waters for who for what, 5-time Pro Bowler. Pretty good player. A little bit more outside of here in Philadelphia, but it was a good player. For the Flyers, we have Murray Craven, the left winger for 8 years here, and very good player. That was the number. As soon as you hear number 32, that was the number or name that came to me was Murray Craven.
No Roman Czechmonic, huh?
Nah. I mean, Dave Brown and who was the other one? I forgot the other one. Dave Brown and Craig Berube also wore it as well, but Murray Craven was the guy. And then for the 76ers, we have Billy Cunningham, the 1967 NBA champs, 4-time All-Star. His number is retired by the Sixers as well. And then for the outsider, for number 32, we have Roy Halladay, the 8-time All-Star, 2-time Cy Young Award winner, 2-time Major Leagues winner, and the Hall of Famer as well, and his number's retired by the Blue Jays. I'll leave some of his other stats out for the Phillies because we'll be probably using him for number 34 as well. Sorry, Lauren, but it's the way it is. It's the outsiders. The viewers voted for him for 37, and pretty deserving. So Mary, who do you have?
I'm going with lefty.
There you go.
Grew up watching them my younger years, so got to go lefty.
All right. Lauren?
Same.
Anthony's nodding already.
You got a double nod there.
Yeah. I mean, you can't. You're going to get some votes for Halladay, but that shouldn't be a thing. Steve Carlton for sure.
Yeah. Halladay will get his votes when it comes around to the Phillies time.
Mm-hmm.
Carl, who do you have? So you're leaving all the pressure for me for this clean sweep today?
Come on, it's a no-brainer. I mean, he was even a guest at Carl's Cards. I forgot to mention that in his
bio.
So yeah.
Oh, I was leaving that up for you.
All right. Well, there you go. What do you got?
I'm going, of course, Steve Carlton.
All right.
Wow.
Unanimous.
I know it's a shocker, but
Halladay out.
Yep, Halladay wore 32 as a Blue Jay, so
right.
And I mean, some people have questioned some of our choices, but it's the way it is. As far as the players are playing, and he wore 32. It's
Is what it is.
it's a popularity contest as far as the viewers. Once the names are out there, whoever votes for it, it's the way it goes. I left off Craig Berube and Dave Brown because they didn't wear 32 as much. And then they got write-ins, and they almost won. So, our viewers are smart, so they get their names, and everybody's got their own favorites.
There you go.
So that's what makes this game good. This game so great because we can all have our own opinion and go from there. So
That makes
Very
sense.
good. Very good.
All right. So you want to jump into Eagles, or you want to switch over to Phillies and come to Eagles later?
you're running the board today, there.
All right. We'll go Eagles first. Get that.
Did
out.
anybody tell him he was running the board? He thinks it's October already. I mean, come on.
Well, he's got a stopwatch going. He's
all ready for
his
next
time.
week.
I am ready for next week.
You're all ready for next week. So
Oh,
we're gonna
yeah.
talk. We're gonna talk Phillies. We're gonna get this bad
All right.
juju out of the way, like right away.
You got it at both teams, so what does it matter?
Yeah, but we got games to play with the Eagles.
That's true.
We have,
All right.
we have no games to play for the Phillies.
All right. We'll flip flop them. We'll go Phillies first. What do you got?
So, well, I guess the thing that annoys me the most, and I had to write this down on my big piece of paper right here. They led in 49 of the 60 games played. They were
Crazy.
leading. That's depressing.
Yes.
I mean, does that not sum up the season right there? You're leading 49 of the 60 games, and you're not in the playoffs.
Yep.
That's depressing.
So,
I'm sorry.
so what do we do going forward, or what do you think they do going forward?
Well, I can't pitch. Matt Klintek can't put a bullpen together. I don't think any of you guys can pitch.
We can, just not well.
I don't know. We're gonna save it for another show after Klintek hopefully is relieved of his GM duties, and we'll break it down at that time.
So
you know what I mean? Because they need a lot of that whole bullpen needs to be redone again.
But there's been a lot of, and I'll call them rumors because that's probably what they are, that he's not getting fired. He's keeping his job. Do we have any truth to that at all? Any leads?
Well, I think with that stat that Carl just threw out there, I think he does have a chance because he's under contract for a couple of years, and they'll spin it as far as, well, we have a good lineup, we have a good starting rotation, we had a couple pieces to the bullpen, and we're there, and so I definitely can see it. I don't want to see it, but I can definitely see it. We've been down this road too many times with the Phillies, and I don't think Middleton will pay a second guy to do a general manager's job because he's going to have to pay Klintak going forward. So yeah, I do see it as a chance, but 60-40 chance that he stays. I do still think he should get fired. So we'll see.
Well, there's an awful lot of people that report about the Phillies, and your 60-40 is their 50-50. So
Oh yeah,
it's
No.
I don't think it's conclusive that one way or the other. John Middleton has a way of taking his time.
this is true.
It took him a month and a half to fire Gabe Kapler. So
Well,
say
that's the point on some of this stuff, though. Maybe it's not all his fault. It's always easy to blame him because it's the easiest person to blame. But, he also might not have had more money to go spend on a bullpen. Don't you think he would have wanted a better bullpen? He has no other choice but to tell you that they're good to go at the beginning of the season. What else do you want him to say? So if he's not getting the money to spend because he's got to figure out how to get a catcher or this or that, they should really worry about developing the minor leagues so you can grow those guys from within and not have to spend it all the time. They don't have the budget of the Yankees or the Dodgers. So, if he's not going to give you the money to spend it, what are you going to do? It's not all his fault. It really isn't.
I disagree as far as the budget with the Yankees and stuff. They have the money to spend. It's just
but John, it doesn't mean that they want to. He takes
well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, they have it, but they don't want to.
Right. So if they didn't pay Real Muto this year, and everyone wants him, you got to have him. Great. So now you have him. You have the exact same lineup that you have in the same horrendous pitching. You got to figure that out before you figure out anything.
Yeah, but there's still plenty of money around though that you can get pitching. You
broke it down for us last week.
Right. I mean, there's plenty of money there that can be spent.
But what I'm saying is, I'm just saying that if he's the general manager and he's not being allowed to spend that money, which I'm sure he wants to if he had the ability, what do you want him to do? He's the easy scapegoat to get rid of, but if they don't let him get any pitchers, what do you want him to do?
But who's responsible for telling him yes or no you can't spend that money?
Middleton.
Well, his boss, the owner.
So
right.
Then if he falls back on
Middleton. If my boss tells me I can't spend any money, then I can't spend any money, and I got to figure it out. So, I don't know if that's the case or not, but
Well, John says he wants to win, Middleton, and this was their team before the pandemic. So they can't use that excuse of the pandemic. We don't have the money because of the pandemic. Because they had this lineup set up prior to that when they made all their moves. So if he really wants to win, there shouldn't be a limit on that.
You're right. There definitely shouldn't be a limit, but in the reality of it, they have to develop the minor leagues at a much better,
of course,
so that you don't have to get in situations like this in the future.
And that's on Clentak then.
Right.
Yeah, but he hasn't been. It's not him the entire time. That's not on him. You got to get all new coaches, all new everything. He's only been here a couple of years. He doesn't have responsibility for all that. I mean, it's a whole system thing.
It is, but 5 years though, isn't that long enough?
I would take 5 years. That's not. I mean, yeah.
But building up the farm system is a long-term solution.
What I'm saying is, by getting rid of him, everyone seems to want to win right now. Getting rid of him and starting over doesn't really set you up for that person to do that, because they still have work to do as well. And everyone seems to want to win today, tomorrow. All right, well then, that's not as easy to do that when you bring in someone new all of a sudden who hasn't seen the system at all.
Well,
no, true.
My two cents for Philly sports, and this is just a general kind of statement. There is no patience in Philly, no matter what sport. There is no patience.
Well, that's a problem.
That's honestly something that Anthony and I talk about quite a bit, because the Phillies won in 2008, the Eagles won in 2017, and yet the minute the team doesn't do well, we're ready to just ship them off. Yet he's never seen a Pirates championship in his lifetime, and he just sits back and hopes for the best every year. But us, we can't stop complaining until we feel like something finally happens. I feel like we are the most ungrateful fan base.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
across the
John,
board.
I would take 5 years in an instant if I knew in 5 years from now I'd have a chance to win. We were one game before the playoffs. I would give my leg to have a game before the playoffs. You know what I mean? I'm just saying that, obviously everyone wants their team to win, but we got to breathe a little bit, because it'll be all right. Everything will be okay.
We can't win every year.
No, but for the Phillies, it's 9 years now. And this team is that close as far as getting to the playoff, as far as they add a couple pieces in the bullpen. And like you said, you have to develop the minor league system. And I agree completely with that. So if you set this team up with some free agents for the next 3 to 5 years, and you have a new general manager that focuses strictly on getting the farm system completed, so that in that 3 to 5 years from now, we have a farm system that's ready to go. That's how you have to do it if you want to win right now. Otherwise, you just break it down and you rebuild, and don't tell us that you're trying to win because you're.
But Nick brings up a good point. We spent all that money on Harper. Everybody thought, because they were going to go out and spend stupid money, that they were going to go out and buy all the pieces they need to get a win now.
But
I don't know who everyone. I guess some people are everyone, but I saw right away you sign Harper, that checkbook's not getting opened up for a little bit.
Right.
That's a lot of money right there. So I never thought that they were going to spend it on everyone. My thought was they're going to be in trouble unless they could start developing things. And then they started to win a few games, with guys like Jay Bruce and all these sort of rental type guys.
Right.
That's not the long-term solution. You're going to always get almost get to the playoffs with the team that you have right now. But to go far in the playoffs, you got to rely on those young guys, and they just don't have enough. That's the problem.
Right.
Well, I agree.
Brown, there's nothing wrong with wanting your teams to win now. That's not what I said at all. All I'm saying is we can't let anything go without beating it to death. If we don't agree with something, we don't stop. But we have to stop and think. I understand the Sixers haven't won since the 80s and the Flyers haven't won since the 70s. I get that. But as a Philadelphia fan, as a sports base, we just had a championship in 2017. And I'm not saying we need to be complacent. I'm just saying, relax, everyone. You can't win every year.
But by the way,
take the time to build stuff up and work through things and get back to being good.
All those teams, by the way, have made the playoffs in relatively recent years. It's not like you're dying to see some good sports. You see good sports. Yes, you hope they go further. But for 30 years, I didn't see a playoff game. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, put it into perspective. You're pretty fortunate compared to a lot of markets. It's not Milwaukee or one of those towns around here.
Right. And Lauren, to your point, everybody wants their team to win now.
Of course.
No matter where you are, everybody wants their team to win now.
Every year. Now and every year.
Right. But you're right. Philly is way more impatient, I think, than a lot of people.
Well, let me just interject a little something and see where you guys go with this. But Matt Klintek was brought here not only as a first-time general manager. He was brought here for his ability to put an analytics department together, something that the Philadelphia Phillies did not have. They didn't even have a department when he came here 5 years ago. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that was his main emphasis to the ownership group, was to build an analytics department and get the Phillies, put back together as quickly as possible. I don't know, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know that there was ever a timetable, to win. I know there wasn't a whole lot, in the minors at the time. There probably still isn't, because they're ranked 23rd out of baseball. So there's a lot of work to be done there as well. But to John's point, I don't know that John Middleton's going to pay for two general managers. If you go solely on record, they're in probably as bad a shape as they were last year when they fired Gabe Kapler in September. There's a lot of work to be done here, a lot of work. And
the issue that people have is that they went from, like you said, having no analytics to be fully analytics, and you have to have a balance. So they're not going to get rid of it, but you got to figure out a balance, and whether that means someone else is more in charge of that department and he's more hands-on for player moves and that, or the opposite. And if they don't want to have two people, then maybe he's not the right choice. But they, in their defense, they went from having none to having one of the best, if not the best departments, not only for analytics, but we were in an affiliates meeting, and the way that they see what fans purchase at games and all that stuff and keeping track of groups. I mean, it's amazing where they started and where they are now. But yeah, I mean, I guess you could blame them in the fact that they went all in with it. But you got to figure out some type of balance going forward.
You're saying from that this is one of the best analytic departments in baseball?
No, I didn't say that.
No, Anthony. I didn't know if I heard that right or not.
They have one of the best, most rounded analytics departments in the country. Now, that doesn't mean that they have all the players that you need at this point today in time, but they have one of the most well-rounded, from not only on the field to group outings, hospitality, all things that no one thinks about that goes into the business of baseball. They have one of the best in the country.
But that has nothing to do with analytics, though.
Sure it is. Analytics is not just for
Group
field. Analytics analyzes everything. It analyzes the fans' purchase, how you get more people there, how to get more people to the ballpark. That's one part of it. Overall, they have one of the best analytics departments in the country.
So, Anthony, Brian wants you to rate the Phillies farm system, since you have a better knowledge of it than
I don't know that I'm in that position to rate the entire farm system. That's a current job. But, they obviously, I'm just saying, you've seen other teams in the country, like we mentioned last week, the Cardinals, the Rays, Oakland, all these teams that are in the playoffs. My only suggestion is maybe looking at them a little bit closer and seeing who some of those managers are, seeing some of who those coaches are that might be able to help the Phillies a little bit. They always seem to bounce back. The Cardinals, I don't, half the time I don't know who's on the team. One guy gets hurt, they pull up someone from AAA, and that guy's like the player of the month. So I'm just saying that doesn't seem to happen with the Phillies very much. There's probably a reason for that. There could be something that they do about that. Get some of those guys. There's probably a lot of good guys. There are a lot of good guys in the system and with the Phillies that we wouldn't want to see go. But if they're not developing how they want to, some of those nice guys might have to go, and you might have to bring other people. But you got to look at the other teams with not huge budgets to look at.
You're just one more thing with your point with if that's the Phillies spin or that's what they're saying to people, that they have the best analytic department, that's a problem, I think, to me, because if they're considering ticket sales and that kind of stuff as analytic department as far as putting a winning team on the field,
John,
that's a problem.
We're talking about two different things. You said, what does that have to do with? I said analytics. Analytics in general is sort of studying all that stuff. So in general, overall, they have one of the best. Now, how's that translated today to winning the most amount of games? No, because that's not the only thing that goes into it, like I was saying before. But in general, they have departments of people that analyze everything. To some people's perspective, that's a little too much, but they went literally from having none of that stuff to having more than anyone, and they do a good job of going over that stuff. Now, has that translated to winning? Not at this point, but they're looking at it more so than any other team does in the country right now today.
Okay. With that, I think we should move on to, let's go hockey. Since hockey just ended, we'll go there next. So Tampa Bay Lightning win. And according to
you hear that crowd, that's the applause, that's the amount of applause they have in their fans.
So according to Mr. Stinger, apparently the parade's going to be a boat parade.
Sweet.
Which I think is kind of neat.
That's cool.
So did anybody watch it? What
would they have done if it wasn't a team in Florida where a boat parade was possible? Then what would have happened?
Find a river or something.
So.
Yeah. Can we have the duck parade? Is that the duck boats or whatever?
Yeah, we tried the duck boats. Didn't they all break down and say
something happened?
Something happened, right?
Yeah, didn't they ban them?
So Carl, what did you think of the finals? You're the biggest hockey guy, so what do you?
I thought the NHL did a phenomenal job in what they did between the two cities, the finals. I was rooting for the Dallas Stars because I always like to see teams, get back in it that have really been, busting it, trying to win a Stanley Cup. Winning championships is not easy. It is not an easy situation. And I know I'll go back to the Philly thing. We're just busting at the gut every year. The Flyers haven't won since 1975. How many managers have been fired? How many general managers have been fired? And, we had one of the best owners in all of hockey in Ed Snyder. Probably the most passionate owner, you can think of. But I just, we had so much hope for our Flyers this year. Did they let us down? Yeah, they let us down, but That's what happens. You know, you got to put the pieces back together and get right back in it. I thought Tampa, Tampa's been in existence, since 95, I believe. You know, they've already got 2 cups. You know, they do a great job. They don't have many fans, but they got 2 cups. Their fan base is horrible, so maybe they need to look into analytics and see how to draw people and sell more beer or something. I don't know.
Can we have their analytic department? Because I'd rather have that analytic department.
I think you need the analytic department from all the Tampa teams and just bring them in, the Lightning and the Rays, and just take them.
Yeah, exactly.
I think without wasting a whole lot of time on Florida, we know why. The teams aren't supported as well.
Yeah,
you got a lot of snowbirds. You've got a lot of the seniors retired down there. Hell, that's where I want to go. You know what I mean? I'm not too far away. I'll support them. But I thought the NHL did a phenomenal. I thought the NBA did a phenomenal job as well. This whole bubble thing, seemed to really, really work. And we got sports back. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, Philly sports, not so much, but we got sports back. So kudos to the Lightning. They're going to have a boat parade. I'm a huge Stamkos fan, although he had been pretty banged up. And you go back to their roots a little bit. Bill Barber, he was the coach, of their first Stanley Cup team. Bobby Taylor, is still does TV and broadcasting for the Lightning. So who else? Luke Shen was on the championship team. Braden Coburn was on the championship team. So, we kudos to those guys. You know what I mean? It takes a lot to win a championship, though.
Yeah.
It's not easy. It's not easy at all. That's why the 408 with the Phillies, I was still celebrating 1980 for crying out loud. It's not easy. It's not easy. I wouldn't want to be in Matt Klintak's shoes. I wouldn't want to be in, John Middleton's shoes. I thought that, I'm not going back on the Phillies. What do you got, Mario?
Well, since you brought up basketball, let's talk about the playoffs.
Yeah, how about it? Final start tonight.
Yep.
What do you got? Can Jimmy Buckets pull it off?
I hope so.
Wouldn't that be the nail in the coffin?
Man.
Yeah.
You kidding me?
Yep.
That would be nice.
They wouldn't have to worry about playing at the Wells Fargo Center. They'd burn it down.
I think that might be his motivation too.
Oh, of course it is.
Sure.
So I think it'll be a little bit more difficult for them this going up against the Lakers. But, because who was that kid that's shooting a lot for the Heat, scoring a lot of the points, the rookie.
Yeah, what's his name? Bay Mola. I can't pronounce his last name.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm still thinking of Pelly Eklund, so I'm out.
But here you go with the Lakers. If LeBron and Eric, what's the big
Anthony
center?
Davis.
Anthony Davis. Sorry, Anthony Davis and LeBron. What do they have after that?
No. That's the thing. Whoever gets LeBron can at least get you at least to the finals. That's why it would be so nice if Jimmy could just beat them. You know what I mean? That would be really nice.
That's a well-coached team over there, Miami. Starting at the top with Riley, as the GM. He won all them titles with the Lakers. He's going to know he knows what it takes. LeBron was on the other side. He won one with Miami a few years back.
Yep.
I think Miami's in a sweet spot. I really do. Go ahead, give the ball to LeBron. Let him wear himself out and score 50. You know what I mean? It's going to take more than that to win the game.
So how many championships they have already?
Who is that?
Miami.
They won. Was it 2 with Shaq and Dwayne Wade? Is that all they?
Yeah,
I think that might be.
Yes.
And then LeBron won one with Wade.
Right. Yep.
Yes.
But that's a hell of a. You talk about putting a team together. They've been putting that team together for a long, long time, and it takes patience. You know, yeah, you can try and buy a championship. Hell, we're try it in every sport here in Philadelphia. You know what I mean? You know, you got to be patient. You know, Miami knew, you know, that Jimmy Butler was going to be the piece for them. And kudos to them. You know, give them credit for going out and, you know, what do we get for him? Josh Richardson?
Yeah, how'd that work out?
You know, I mean, seriously, how'd that work out?
Yep. So speaking of basketball, what's up with the Sixers coach?
Oh, there you go. Now you hit my nerve.
I kind of figured that would do it.
You know who's in town, right?
Yeah.
He's in town meeting with the owners tonight.
So
Doc Rivers.
Has there been a more recent list? I haven't paid as much attention to that, but has there been a more recent list than there was a few weeks ago on, other than him, is there any other top 2-3 candidates in there?
You got Tyrone Lue and you got Mike D'Antoni. You know,
Donovan went to
the Bulls, right? He didn't want any parts of coming to Philly.
Oh, Doc Rivers, it is then.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be a great choice. I really do. I think, you know, he's the grassroots kind of, you know, he played the game. You know, he knows how to play the game. You know, he knows how the game is to be played. If they let him out of Philadelphia tonight without handing him a contract, shame on them.
So how long did it take them to get rid of Brett Brown?
8 years.
Yeah. No, after the season ended for us.
Not very long.
Pretty quick.
Yeah,
I think like the next day.
Yeah, I mean, that you knew that was going to happen. You know, that team quit on him, and it's a shame.
But what's that say about him as a coach?
Well, to take a page out of John's book, and John always, you know, throws this at me all the time. The coach can't be their friend. You know what I mean? You can't, you know, give them an attaboy and, you know, oh, great job, we'll get them tomorrow. No, you got to kick their ass.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know, if Embiid's not hustling and playing, sit his fat ass down until he figures out that he's going to be a team player.
But to be able to do that, you have to have respect from the players. If you don't, Doc
Rivers will bring that here.
Right.
Doc Rivers will bring that to Philadelphia. That's instant. That's going to happen right away.
Well, yeah, he's got the history of playing and coaching all those good teams. Yeah, that would be an instant. You know, the other guy I liked was Jason Kidd. But if you hire Jason Kidd, it'll probably be less money, but he's not going to necessarily have not that he won't have the respect because he just played recently, but he's not going to have the sort of seniority that Doc has. So I'd love to see him come as like an assistant coach, Jason Kidd, with a better team than he would have had in Brooklyn. But I don't know that that's going to happen.
What was the reason why the Clippers let him go, Rivers?
Because they didn't make it to the finals.
Okay.
There we go.
I know where you're going with that.
No.
I know exactly where you went.
No, I'm just asking. I mean,
it's a great question. It's a great question. You know, he had all the parts, but you know, for whatever reason, he can get it done.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, again, you know, we're talking about patience. We're talking about winning championships. You know, we're talking about the overall. You know, how long does it take? How willing are the owners willing to wait?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously we see that a lot of them are waiting a long time.
Well, and it also comes to, that's a good coach, but just like baseball and baseball's a little harder because it takes a lot longer to win and get back on track once you're in the hole a little bit. But, you know, the Sixers also have to do a better job. The GM's got to do a way better job, has to do a better job, put better players on the court for him. You know, and drafting and all that stuff, just like every other sport. So, yeah, you know, if Doc Rivers doesn't win immediately, you know, they gotta look into some of those other things. So you can't make miracles happen with the same guys that they have. So you got to figure that other stuff out. Good coaching staff, good recruiting, a GM that doesn't make silly decisions, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
Well, Ernie just updated me, and I kind of forgot a little bit about it. The Clippers were up in that series 3-1, and that could have been a big reason why he was fired. So, but hey, we don't know what went on out in LA, But I know one thing: he'd be a great fit here in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah,
no doubt. So
great fit.
Joe asked a good question. The way things are now, who do you think the first of the big four in Philly are going to win a championship next?
The Flyers.
I'd have to go Flyers. Mm-hmm. Everybody else seems to be in a little bit of a disarray right now.
Well, speaking about the Flyers, I mean, they're we've had plenty of growing pains, but I mean the team has turned the page. They're exciting to watch. Did you guys pick up on the fact that the general manager is now willing to listen to offers for Shane Gostisbehere? So they're willing to trade him now.
Nice.
That's a big name. Just a couple years ago, I believe he had a 60-point season. I don't know where all that offense went, but I know injuries were part of it. But again, here we go. The theme for tonight is patience. You know what I mean? And being patient with our sports teams. I know everybody, and I'm included. I beat them up. I'm probably, if John's the most passionate on the board, I'm probably second passionate. You know what I mean? I feel it. I feel the pain. That I don't know that, every time you lose a series, have a losing season, people need to be fired. I don't know that that's the answer. I don't know how. You got it, like Anthony said, there's so much analytics that goes into the game nowadays, whether it's game management or game day management, or selling tickets and everything that goes into it. It's a big big business nowadays, big business. So
no doubt.
I'm excited to have Anthony on every week, and he brings and gives us, these little nuggets of information. I try to have these conversations with him one-on-one over a couple of beers. He's not sharing nothing with me. You know what I mean?
For the ratings, I'm helping you with the ratings.
Hey, come on.
He's full of nuggets of information. You got to live with
I need these little nuggets. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to carry this load. This guy in the corner up there, all he wants to fire everybody. He probably wants to fire me. It's probably, somewhere on the page, I'm sure.
Well, listen, not to get back on it, but real quick, I understand John's frustration with it because you had
you do?
Analytics. You know what I mean? None to full.
I don't care about the analytics on the field.
You want them to win.
Well, I want them to win, but if you're telling me and you're using that as a selling point, and not you, I mean, the Phillies are saying it as we have a great analytic department. We just started 5 years ago because we sell a lot of tickets. Well, the Philadelphia fans are passionate. We're going to go if you have a 2-80 or 2-160 team, you're going to have fans there at the game. We're going to boo, but we'll be at the game. But so you can throw that analytics out the door for me because that doesn't matter that you're able to sell tickets more because you're going to be able to sell them no matter what. You got to be able to put them on the team, and I think them saying that is kind of wrong, and it gets them in the heads thinking because I would have to disagree with it. I obviously don't know the numbers in there, but I would have to think the Dodgers, the Astros, the Tampa Bay Rays, the Oakland Athletics, they all have to have a better analytic department.
They got better trash cans. I know that.
The Astros is definitely the best one.
Same thing with the Padres. I'm sure these teams, the Phillies can't be the best.
Sure. They're all good. I'm not saying they're not good. That's the problem, as Carl was saying. You got 30 teams, so even if you are on the top, unless you play it perfectly, you still have to have the human aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? So they have to manage that a little bit better, and having Joe Girardi there is definitely a good start. If you said that before the season started, hey, you'll be one game before the playoffs, I don't know how many people would have taken that. But with the pitching that you had this year going into it, I would have thought that's a pretty good accomplishment because I didn't think they were that good at all. I thought the pitching was horrible coming into the year. So I thought it was a pretty good step forward, to be honest with you, with what they had.
And like I said, and that statement again it also scares me because that means that Klentak will be back because if you think that's what they're thinking, like, hey, we're right there, and why are we going to get rid of this guy because he's got a 2-year contract left or 3-year contract?
Right.
There's no reason to get rid of him. We just got to wait another year.
It might not mean that he's back. It might mean that
I know. I'm just saying.
I'm saying you got to have a better option. I'm just saying that they are on a better track than they had been. But until you sort of fix the system with the pitching and the younger guys, you're going to perpetually keep buying players like Jay Bruce, and you're going to always get to that right before the playoffs, and you're always going to lose. So let's just figure out that other stuff, which is a harder process and not as fun to talk about, and then they'll be in a better position going forward.
Right. So speaking of playoffs and baseball, that's what we got going on now. Got the wild card games going on.
Yes, we do.
Who's
8 games today? 8 games.
That's ridiculous.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's life. That's a dream right there. Eight playoff games.
And our Phillies aren't in it. His Pirates aren't in it. And there's Jake Diekman saving the game for the Oakland Athletics.
We're watching that one.
Yeah, we're watching that. Tampa's about to go up 2-0.
Really?
Well, they'll win the series.
Yeah, that'll be it.
Yeah, the Houston Astros they must have had some silent trash cans because they ended up still winning. They swept out the Twins this week.
Well, then the Blue Jays can go home and not have to worry about coming back to America.
Oh no, the Twins, not the Blue Jays.
Well, the Blue Jays on this.
Playing for that 2-game series. And and the Braves pulled out a game today in 13 innings with Freddie Freeman with the base hit up the middle in extra innings, and the Marlins won. So it makes it even that much harder with our division still winning,
right?
And we're sitting at home, and our potential could have been ace is it was Sixto Sanchez is going to be pitching tomorrow to be going to sweep out the who are they playing tomorrow?
So and
the Reds, right? They're playing the Reds. They're losing out
because it's 2020. They're doing the playoffs different, right? No breaks in between, except for in between series.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
So 7 games in a row.
Hopefully, you're only playing the three for this first series.
Right.
And then you got 5. So, hey, Anthony, have you heard anything? Because we were wondering, is the bubble actually a thing now? Because we haven't officially heard anything about the bubble.
To be honest with you, I haven't heard that, and other than the initial things that you guys heard, I haven't heard anything separately. They've been sort of talking about these negotiations with major league and minor league pretty heavily lately. So all the talk on that kind of went out. Other than the original, I read the same stuff that you guys probably read.
Yeah.
Well, I was watching the Tampa Bay Rays game yesterday, and the announcers mentioned they were going to do the bubble.
Mm-hmm.
So this way they could bring the families in and not have to worry about them going anywhere, stuff like that. So it looks like they're moving towards it.
I mean, the safest for all sports, God forbid we have to start this way next year, is to just have a darn bubble. You see how much safer it is compared to other ways. Now, hopefully we don't need to have that again after this season's over with, but for the beginning of next year, who knows? So, yeah, obviously it just works better. You don't have to worry about travel and all the people that you come in contact with.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Hey, real quick. I see Stephanie Brogdon jumped on, and she's heartbroken because her Phillies and Twins are no longer playing. But hey, how about the performance by her son Connor Brogdon? How awesome is that? Back-to-back games, struck out 3 guys. I mean, that's some pitching right there. I mean, here we are. We're quick to scream and shout about a guy. But how about this kid? Does this kid not have a future or what?
Oh, absolutely. We need more like him in our bullpen. Absolutely.
Well, and I know John's he's uncovered a lot of different names, and we've got a couple pieces. We've got a couple of young lads in the bullpen for years to come, as long as they stay on course and the Phillies, don't do things with them that they tend to do. Let these kids. I mean, Jojo Romero, he's a power pitcher. Connor's got a big arm. These are things. You don't teach that.
Right.
These are God-given talents. So, this is what's going to bring us up out of having a bad bullpen, and hopefully we can piece that together. But kudos to Connor, with that performance. Maybe we can get him on the show, one time to talk a little bit about what it was like up in Lehigh, and then get called up by the Phillies, because that's a quite a major league debut right there for that.
Absolutely. So with that, it is quarter after. John, you want to do fantasy football, and then we'll move into Eagles, and then wrap it up after that.
Sure, we can do that. We got fantasy football. We got we got till 8:00 tonight to get your votes in. You guys are going to be playing it, Lauren and Anthony. You guys are all set.
Call Mario because he's got hookup.
Yeah, you get the 1-800 fantasy.
Here's my hookup
hotline.
That's my hookup.
Yep. That's pretty much mine too.
Well, you did pretty good the first week, so keep that up again. Make sure you use the same finger and everything else to do it, because last year
I used my left hand this time.
Okay, because last year you must have been using your right, because it wasn't that good last year.
No, I was using my nose. It's so big I can point with it. So, anyway.
But you just got to make sure. This year we got, or this week we have the Titans and the Steelers game. Looks like it may be postponed. Well, it is postponed, at least for Sunday. They may be playing it on Monday or Tuesday, possibly, depending on how tests go. So, you'll have to make sure when you're making your votes, make sure you don't pick those guys, or if you do, you're taking a risk there. Because if they do play Monday or Tuesday, it'll count for this week's scores. But yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's fun. It's free. You get on, and we have a lot of fun with it. You just get spread the word out to your friends, and get this going a little bit more. We got about 30 strong every week, which is nice to see. I got my notes, and I got to keep keeping score and everything, but I'm running out of paper. Just hint. But
you can do some of the stuff on the computer, John, so you don't have to use paper.
No, Mario, don't even. Don't even bother.
You're this brain screwed up. I'm still thinking about Pelly Eklund and stuff going on here. So
you guys want to donate? You guys want to donate to the cause? John needs three ring paper. It's all about a buck a packet at Staples. I'll get you. Hey, John, kudos to you for not mentioning that my wife, Sue Henderson, beat me this week in our fantasy pool. I thought you were going to be all over that, so I'm a little. I'll bring it up.
Well, you can't keep rubbing salt in the wounds. We had a rough week.
Yeah, I know all about it. Yes, I know all about it.
So I mean, it was tough to. It's fun. We had at the viewers against the viewers. We're getting everybody's scores going. So it's been fun. We've so far with 3 weeks now. We've had 3 different games, which has always been nice to see that. And so yeah, it's been going good. We just everybody get their votes in a little bit sooner, and then that way, I know it helps me out anyway. Let's put it that way. Especially us viewers, we know who to pick on our end, so we don't have to keep waiting.
Is anybody
Also
picking
have
up?
trouble with John's feed?
Yeah, John, you're breaking up big time.
Yeah, you're having connection problems, John.
Yeah, so I haven't really caught most of what John.
Yeah, which might not be a bad thing. So
we haven't given ourselves very much time to talk about the giant elephant in the room.
That's what's going with
Time for John's signal to cut out.
Can I start off the football talk so I never have to talk football again? And
Go right ahead.
Then I get kicked off the show forever. Okay, great. So it's funny. We were at dinner tonight, and I said,
"This isn't good." I don't know.
Lauren, Carson Wentz reminds me of a player, and as soon as I said it, she said, "I actually happened to write that down in my phone." And the player's name was Dominic Brown, and I'm sticking to it, and I believe it 100%. I think Carson Wentz, I know people have money invested. I know people want him to be what they want him to be. Carson Wentz is the biggest bust in Philadelphia history. He is horrendous. Go sign Nick Foles. Let the Jalen Hurts kid play. Carson Wentz, sayonara, Sally. That's all I got to say.
All right.
So Chicago's going to start Foles. So
Mario, hang on a sec.
Yeah.
Hang on a sec. Lauren, you let him go through all that?
Dad, I'm telling you, I had the same thought a couple nights ago.
We had no conversation.
We had no conversation about this. A couple mornings ago, I woke up and some idiot commented on what I had said on John's post, and it fired me up. So instead of saying anything back to the guy, I just wrote a couple notes down in my phone, and I literally put Carson Wentz equivalent to Dominic Brown. And then he did the same exact thing to me tonight at dinner, and I'd never shown him those notes. And we had the same exact thought. And I can't help but make a similar comparison. I hope I'm wrong. I hope both have had similar good months that made them seem like all-stars. And now Dominic Brown is getting paid like $100 to teach 10-year-olds at a nearby clinic here.
Wow.
Wentz had a few good months. And then what?
By the way, no one's
got paid better. Carson Wentz got paid better.
No one's rooting for that. You want Carson Wentz to be good, but you watch him every week and he looks horrendous. I mean, give him another week or two, but come on.
Well, now that I'm back in, I heard that I almost had to throw up, but your buddy there, Nick Foles, came out the other day and said the reason that he did so well was Frank Reich, and I've been saying that ever since he's left. He may not be a great head coach, but he's a good offensive coordinator and a good quarterbacks coach. That's why Carson Wentz is bad, because we have bad coaching in this league,
right.
in our team.
I get all that, and I understand. And we're arguing maybe not the exact same thing, but you think I am solely putting this all on Carson Wentz, and I'm not. I'm certain it's players not being able to make plays, it's coaching not being able to coach properly. I get all of that, and sometimes with championships, stars just align, and that's what happened with the Eagles. The stars aligned, and everything worked out, and it was great. And you're never going to be able to repeat that again. All I'm saying is, if you look at Carson Wentz as an individual, I don't see that franchise quarterback making plays, making things happen for the betterment of his team. That's all I'm saying.
Well, at this moment, it's hard to make that statement, but that stretch that he had for 13-1 through 2017, he was a franchise quarterback, and he had coaching, proper coaching that got him there. And like I said, this coaching staff and it's Dougie P starts it off. He has destroyed this team. He won us a Super Bowl, but he's destroyed this team, and he's the golden child because he won a Super Bowl, and nobody wants to say it about him, but he has not developed anybody.
Who's got the button? You got to hit the button.
I already got my glitch. My glitch is already over. You had your chance. But, Verizon was already trying to take care of that. I have to get on them tomorrow about it. But no, he has. It's between that and then Roseman not getting talent on this team, because if you look at any of that talent that we had on that team for Carson Wentz to throw to, he's made bad throws, Carson Wentz, don't get me wrong. Well, yeah, no, he has, but he also doesn't have anybody he's throwing to. So, and his mechanics are bad
but
right now.
But matter if you can get the ball to the person, he's not even getting to them.
You look at some of the other coach or quarterbacks in the league that are throwing passes, and the adjustments that the wide receivers that they're throwing to makes to make him look good, their quarterback, whoever it is, name whoever it might be. We don't have that on this team. I mean, it's just the way it is. There is no. I mean, Zach Ertz is the only guy you have, and he is in the middle of the field. And you can be. It's easy enough to defend him. Like I said, Carson Wentz just made bad throws. I'm not, saying that.
John.
Yeah.
Frank Reich is a 500 record coach right now.
Head coach. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Head coach. His record's 500 since he's been the head coach.
But that doesn't mean
the other guy that you're referring to has been fired twice as the offensive coordinator.
Right, and both of those guys had moved up in their jobs. I'm just saying, Frank Reich was good working with quarterbacks, and maybe he's not a good overall coach for a head coach, but if he was just the offensive coordinator and Didi LaFlippo was just a quarterbacks coach, then sometimes you step out of your element and you're not as good as you are, but you were good as a individual quarterback coach. You were good as this type of coach. I mean, and this isn't just for Carson Wentz. This is, Nick Foles is saying this is what got him to open up and become the quarterback that he became. So
Nick Foles was on the scrap heap when he came to Philadelphia. He was on the scrap heap. We had to talk him out of coming back out of retirement.
Right.
So, as Lauren said, the stars aligned. We got our Super Bowl. You can bash anybody you want. You got Brett Brown fired. You got Dave Kapler fired. You're working on Matt Klintak to get fired. You're working on Doug Peterson to get fired. Who else? Who else you want fired?
Well, that's it. That's it right tomorrow.
Come on. Right, got to be somebody else.
That's all we got right tomorrow.
Carson Wentz. I'll take Carson Wentz to get fired.
Hey, we got 2 minutes to wrap up and do our takeaways.
You might get your wish though, Lauren. Because with the schedule that they have, they're 0-2-1 right now. Next 3 games, they could be 0-5-1 going into it. And next year we're $90 million over the salary cap, so there's a good chance that they trade them.
Yeah, John, do your takeaways first. As we'll go counterclockwise.
Well, I mean, I just said it. I mean, there's a good chance. He might be one of the guys that's gone. There's going to be Ertz is going to be gone. There's going to be a lot of players on this Eagles team that's going to be gone. And this, we think it's bad right now. Just let's see, how it's going to be the next couple of years, because it could be a lot worse.
All right.
And we're talking 0-2 right at the moment. So,
all right, Carl, what do you got?
I'm going to disagree with John, because I think the Eagles might be the best 0-2-1 team in all of football. I can't believe they're that bad. I just think they're totally missing on everything. You name it, they're missing out on it. I just don't think they're that bad of a football team. I watched what Carson did last year, with no-name guys. We played well. Is he playing good now? No, he's not playing good. You know what I mean? I'm not ready to throw him, into the fire. You know what I mean? I'm not going to compare him to Don Brown, but I still think there's hope. I still think they're the best 0-2-1 team in football. And when they go to San Francisco this week and they come home with a win, I'll be right there to meet them at the airport.
All right. Anthony, what do you got?
So I saw a message yesterday that Roberto Clemente Jr. posted on LinkedIn. Today, Wednesday, is the 38th anniversary of his father's 3,000th hit. So as a family, they have purchased a bunch of Clemente 21 Warrior shirts. I haven't seen it on TV yet, but they've given it to every player that's in the playoffs. So this was the first year that all the Latino guys could wear 21 and other players could wear a patch. But separately, today is the day that the family hasn't really tried it too much before. They let the fans do it, but today's the first day where the family itself is coming out and having people do #Retired21 and really starting a campaign as a family itself, which they've tried to stay away for a little in the past, just out of respect to Jackie Robinson. But I think they've got an overwhelming amount of people that have come forward to support them. So today is the first day, and if anyone feels that way, they're more than welcome to post that, or I'm sure there's a petition online as well.
Nice.
Cool.
All right, Lauren, you're up.
So this doesn't really have much to do with sports. It kind of does, but some of you guys might know on here that Anthony and I were supposed to be getting married this Saturday. That's obviously been postponed. So October 2nd of next year, we were supposed to get married at the Baseball Hall of Fame. So what was supposed to be an exciting weekend in October is now just a trip between Anthony and I to Vermont. So it's just one of those like heart-wrenching things that happens this year. And so here we are. But October 2nd of next year is going to be bigger and better than ever. So
There we go.
Excellent.
All right. So since he's watching, I will be the first one to wish him happy birthday. Ernie, happy birthday. His birthday is tomorrow, October 1st, I believe. So enjoy your day, bud. Hope you have a good one. How bad is the Eastern Division, or Eastern Conference, if we're 0-2-1 and half a game out of first place?
Right? 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 Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So,
Thank you. And Don Brown's going to join the cheerleaders.
So it's not out of grasp. We can still do it.
Boy.
With that,
Focus up.
I'll say goodbye to September. Hello to October, and we'll see you next week. See you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks. See you later.